Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-October 2022 love reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is I'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards as well, and that's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so I'll fold that away, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Eight of Cups, Pisces energy, and Seven of Arrows, Aquarius energy. So what I see with these energies here for the majority of you, this could just be saying that you might have actually left this connection behind in the past because you felt like it wasn't as fulfilling as you would have liked, right? And then at the same time, you might have found yourself getting involved in more casual connections and also not seeing fulfillment there, right? So if you think about the Seven of Arrows in traditional tarot, the person looks like they're very happy to be getting away with what they're doing, right? Whereas with this deck, if you look at her facial expression, she doesn't look that happy at all, right? So it could have just been one of those things where, like, okay, I don't know if this connection's going to be able to reach the level I'd like it to. You might have gone elsewhere to seek that type of connection and might have found that wasn't necessarily easy to find there either. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the Six of Pentacles. So, if you look at the artwork here, it looks like this guy's painting a portrait of the person there. So it could just be one of those things where they might have been very much about balance, right? So you guys might have had very different qualities that you brought to the table, but there was always, at least from their perspective, they would always be willing to give an equal exchange, right? Like, okay, you do these, you do A through E, I'll do the rest, right? Things along those lines where you guys just might have had this connection where you might have had a lot of differences, but they felt, at least through their lens, that they had what you couldn't contribute to the connection, they could, and vice versa. So I feel like that's kind of how they were viewing the connection. And also, if you were feeling like, okay, this connection isn't necessarily fulfilling me, could have been one of those things where they would only match effort, right? So if you were only giving 50% effort, then they were giving 50%. If you were giving 20% effort, they were giving, you know what I mean? So it could have been one of those dynamics there. All right, present energy on your side, we have temptation. So this is the equivalent of the devil in traditional tarot. So yeah, it could just be saying that you guys might still be getting pulled away from this connection for different reasons. So for some of you, it might just be putting more focus on your finances. For others of you, it could be other connections that are pulling you away, right? But yeah, it definitely looks like there's something that's moving you away from the connection, especially if you look at as far as the direction they're moving compared to the cards on the side, right? It's moving away from those cards. So yeah, it definitely looks like there's a disconnect still at this time. Alright, present energy on their side, we have the Page of Cups. So yeah, it looks like they could be making an effort here, right? Still trying to reach out to you, trying to come with a light romantic type of energy as well, right? So I don't think this is going to be like a huge offer on their end, but it looks like they are at least making an effort, right? Now what's interesting to me here is if we look at the way that they're dressed, right? Almost like a clownish type atmosphere to the way they're dressed, you know what I mean? So you might not take them seriously, so that could be part of the problem there too, right? All right, and future energy on your side, we have the Eight of Staves, Sagittarius energy, so makes sense for you. And then we have the Nine of Cups, more Pisces energy here. So I do have to say, for a lot of you, it looks like this could just be something you were going through, right? So the way I've been reading it so far was maybe it was related to disconnection, but for some of you, this was maybe just the energy you were already in when you crossed paths with this person, right? Where maybe you gotten out of a connection that wasn't working for you, so you were doing a casual dating type thing for a while, right? Maybe you crossed paths with this person, and maybe you're just still in that cycle, at least in the present, where you're not necessarily looking for anything more than that, right? But interestingly enough, here in the future position, we see the Eight of Staves, which is an energy of communication, taking action, right, and directed action. They're all moving in the same direction. If you look at those birds, to me, usually that makes me think of communication over airwaves, whether it be through text messaging, phone calls. So you might have a physical distance between the two of you, but even if that's not it, it's just more of how you guys communicate. Looks like there will be some passionate communication coming your way, or rather coming from you toward them. And with that Nine of Cups energy, it could just be because whatever you might have been seeking externally, you might have found within yourself, right? So maybe it's just one of those things where you might have realized that you had, at least you thought you had these needs that needed to come from another person for a while, but maybe you've worked through that to where you're like, you know what, I'm good on my own anyway. So that could actually lighten up the energy in this connection, however weird that may sound. And future energy on their side, we have the World. So yeah, to me, this shows that they're definitely going to be willing to put in the effort to build this connection as well, right? And you guys could actually go the distance as far as that goes. So yeah, could just be one of those things where, like I said, for some of you, it might have been that you felt like from this person you weren't getting what you needed from the connection, and that could have led to disconnection in the past. But for others of you, like I said, maybe you just crossed paths with this person because you were getting out of a connection that you felt wasn't fulfilling enough, and maybe you didn't take them too seriously for whatever reason, but it looks like you guys will actually be taking things seriously in the future. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Coins. So interesting that we see the Six of Coins in the past on their side, and here we have it at the bottom of the deck on yours. So if we look at her facial expression there, she doesn't look too happy, right? We see the snow in the background, which reminds us that this is the card that comes after the Five of Pentacles. So yeah, for some of you, maybe there was a situation where, I mean, I was reading it more like you most likely might have been the one who left the connection in the past, but it might have been them, right? And maybe if that was the case, when they came back to try to repair things, you might have felt like it wasn't what you were hoping for. So that's certainly a possibility. But for others of you, it could be you that left the connection, right? And now maybe you're going to have to be the one who tries to restore the balance, and it might not, you know, go over too well immediately, but it does look like there will be the potential to build for sure. All right, and bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, interestingly enough, it could just be one of those things where you guys really might have just spent some time apart and both realized in different ways that you were better off together, you know, because what I see with this Nine of Pentacles energy is usually we think of the Nine of Pentacles in traditional tarot, we see a woman standing there and we think of it as representing independence, right? But here we see that woman toward the left side there looking at a couple, right? They look like they're happy. We see like light shining toward them. So it could just be one of those things where, like I said, maybe in that time when you guys were apart, you might have actually realized that, oh, okay, you know what, maybe we took the relationship for granted while we were together, and there could be a desire to actually reconnect. So interesting energies for sure with this one, but we'll see what the oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from Aqua Moonlight deck. I did pre-shuffle this deck before he started recording, and what I'm looking for here is unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle full out, I think I'm out. I actually just put the deck down and pull cards that way, but we'll see what we get. Alright, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck, and now we'll see what we get from them to you. Alright, and two on their side. Okay, so we'll see what we got on your side first. Alright, we have Magnet. It says, I keep being drawn back to you and I can't quite explain why. So interesting message there, right? Because maybe these energies we see here is in a way you guys might have been trying to fight the connection. And then in the future with the Eight of Staves with the Nine of Cups, it looks like you, if that's the case, you might stop fighting that, right? And actually want to move back toward this person. And it's also interesting because when I was talking about the Six of Pentacles, I was saying that the two of you might have quite a few differences, right? But from this person's perspective, they might feel like you complement each other, whereas you might not have felt that energy initially. So definitely interesting. I see how that fits. Let's see what we got on their side. All right, we have in the very near future, and we have personal. It says, let's see if we get it to focus. Here we go. It says, this isn't about you. I'm working through a personal issue. So interesting message there, because it seems like, if anything, that seemed to be more of the story for the person on the left side here. But yeah, at the very least, I will say it looks like there's definitely a growth cycle taking place And like I said, where the two of you might, through your time apart, realize that, oh, okay, actually, maybe we were taking the relationship for granted. So, hope it resonated with you. And then lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I also pre-shuffled this one, and here we're just looking for one card with general advice to wrap the reading up with. All right, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck, so let's see what you got. All right, we have soulmates. There's the artwork, and the number's 41. Interesting. So yeah, let's see what this says. All right, the relationship message says, consider love in the deepest sense, love so powerful that you will never be the same, regardless of how long your relationship lasts. Consider friendships and romantic bonds so compelling that they overwhelm you with gratitude or break you open so you'll finally claim who you were meant to be. Even a companion animal reminds you that it is you who is being rescued and healed. Pay attention, for you're in the presence of a soulmate, come to guide you home to the real you. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, because I could see how that might fit for both sides, right? As far as like I was saying, you guys might have spent some time apart and actually came to the realization that, oh, maybe we were taking the connection for granted. So I could see that resonating for you, whether you resonate more with the left energy or the right energy. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. I'll wrap up there. I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.